Canin Director General at the National Signals Bureau, Ura Edubuahini Ebushamino Ekase, a buying a sonny pechi. A wom ebon kwedu se wafum abansike pudru asike na ewo se odidi dwuma edema oman Ghana. Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine ede ho nkyeremu aba bonten so abra ofre press conference ede tudwa se oral team eye operation recover all loot wom guso anhwehwe modudro na ede fa impanyufo wom esusu se wom afum abansika ede egu wom ebotum abra na NPP amanyoko no ewo abem na ora Edubuahini ehwaka a iyoko eneti na asem eso a womo eye wom hwehwemu no epie mu se $7 million die ora Edubuahini e de akoto ne private account mu eno enda nchen owo other account dodo na so a wepiempia sika dodo na ne nyina ya ban sika wepia e de ato account mu eno achi eno dwane ekohye amanone nhwehwemu ekosuwie ye na womo eto ne nkra se wombra na womo ento ne nhwehwemu no eso ba ya e na ban aso ne page eno enda nchen kane NSS boss eye owura or say asibe encho no so order NIB kokum san so ena give to around so aban ekira wom de wom nsa ato no so a ono so eye NSS boss wom gusu a eye wom ho hwehwemu efa NSS scandal say ba bontin so wom ekire say wom edi ghost names aba na wom efa ho edege aban esika na nyina Attorney General ede ho nkyeremu aba abontin so.
Now, I want to say something briefly about the oral investigations. Now, in respect of oral, significant work is going on in relation to the investigations of the allegations of looting of state resources contained in the oral report submitted to me a few weeks ago. In view of the fact that these matters are still under investigation, I will not go into the details as I have done with the case of Edubuahini. But I can confirm that investigations will conclude in the National Service and Skytrain scandals by the middle of April for prosecutions to begin. In the National Service scandal, 8 suspects have been interrogated. And a good number of them have started singing. And I'm so they are cooperating with our no, they started singing literally. So we will give you details of their songs at the appropriate time. In view of the fact that indeed, we now have evidence of payments that were made into the accounts of the top executives of the National Service by vendors, private vendors, and staff of the scheme. We also have evidence that in November 2024, and listen to this carefully, the CEO of the National Service Scheme and others paid a Ghanaian MP to kill the story in the media and to defend them. Now this is a developing story, and more will come out very soon. In respect of Skytrain, we can confirm that the $2 million was paid at the request of the chairman of the board of directors of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, that is GIIF, Prof. Ameya Ekumfi, and then and then the CEO, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, who is currently hiding in Senegal. We tracked him first and noticed that he was in South Africa. So he left Ghana somewhere around February 2nd, the 2nd of February, to South Africa. So we were monitoring him in South Africa. And then he left South Africa and is now in Senegal. When we contacted him, he told us that he will not come to Ghana until I think he didn't say April, 3 months from now. Okay, so he's giving us 3 months to come to Ghana, very much like Ken Oforiatta, right? It reminds me of Ken Oforiatta. So he says he will come to Ghana in 3 months. So we are patiently waiting for him. If he wants to be tried in absentia, that is his choice to make. But we have the prosecutorial authority to prosecute him in absentia. And of course, the person who acted with him to transfer that money, the prof Kunfi is in the country. So if there is going to be delay, we'll start the prosecution with him being a suspect who is being tried in absentia. So on the SkyTrain, we noticed that there was no board approval for the transaction, and the conditions precedent to disbursement had not been met. The other board members and our review of the minutes of the board of directors have confirmed this fact. So we requested for all the minutes, of the board of directors within the period that this transaction occurred. And our perusal of the minutes show quite clearly that there was no board approval. Also, the interrogation has revealed, that the other board members said that they did not have knowledge of this transaction. In fact, there was one of the minutes where one of the members questioned why the GIF was in a hurry to make payment for this transaction, and no, answer of any significance was given to him by the two persons who, schemed and transferred $2 million of taxpayers' money to a Mauritius company. In fact, we tracked the company to Mauritius, and a lawyer in Mauritius has confirmed to us that it is non-existent. But that's also, a developing story. Now, the money, you see, if you are buying shares in a company, you are buying shares in a company, that's your equity contribution to that company. The money is supposed to be paid into the share account, the shares account of that company. But the money was given to Africa Investment Holdings. And when it was paid, we noticed that Africa Investment Holdings was paid 100,000 United States of American dollars as the GIF's contribution to equity. And then listen to this: 1.9 million was paid to Africa Investment Holdings as share premium. Now, when you are paying for share premium, for those of you accountants and lawyers well versed in corporate law, share premium is not paid for nothing. It is paid for the performance of the company or the growth of the company and so on and so forth. So the company must have a certain track record. But maybe they know something that I do not know. And in the course of investigation, we may know why. Maybe there is some other principle for paying a share premium, to a company, an SPV that you just incorporated. All right. And I believe that the accountants will confirm that with share premium, it's easy for the directors to take the money.
Attorney General a press conference ya na minority caucus me dom kuma e wom rahye bedufie wom so every press conference a wom de to dwa se dwumedia Attorney General edi no memu emfa kwam ehwehwemu ekoso wo se wom enya botere wom mfa court na court entena semne so na wugusu eye hwehwemu e ba ne sei e na hwehwemu unwe ye wo se matew ye nya ne sa e wom remani ntina Attorney General onhwe no ndi ne dwumedia ye se Attorney General no njai se oye hwehwemu a onwe ye no se matew. The
Attorney General is an officer of the court. His interest is to assist the court in dispensing justice when investigators bring their case and evidence. The poster of the new AG undermines this rule. He is no longer acting as an officer of the court, but is instead acting as someone who has conducted his own inquisition, determined guilt of a suspect, and is seeking to force his views on the courts. The practice undermines the role of the Attorney General and undermines the administration of justice. All well-meaning voices that respect the operation of the rule of law should call on it to an end, and to end it now as we speak. We are asking that all well-meaning voices that respect the operation of the rule of law should call on the Attorney General to put an end to this immediately. The Attorney General is not expected to start off by prejudicing an investigation and in his mind conducting an inquisition on suspects. Since when did we have an Attorney General who himself orders arrest, conducts investigations, and examines his own evidence to determine if a prima facie case is being documented or docketed against a suspect? This is highly improper and leads to bias right from the investigation process. Let the court decide the guilt or innocence of suspects. The new approach where the Attorney General seeks to convict political opponents in the court of public opinion before going to the court of competent jurisdiction is an abomination that should not be countenanced. The courts of Ghana are the only ones that should be allowed to convict or acquit, not the Attorney General. How can you suspect a person who is innocent until proven guilty by a court, not take that person through the court processes, but come to conduct public show of your suspicions, seeking to prejudice the minds against that person? How? This is terrible and a backward step in the growth of our democracy.
MTV New Vision.